Alright guys, hey, this is Rick Bigger, Mike McGonigal, here with the new video talk for the 13th Man. So today we're going to talk about the big elephant in the room. Also, we had the mass shooting in Las Vegas. So a lot of questions about it. I've been discussing on Facebook with several people about everything that was going on. So what do we know about it right now? We know that we had a shooter on the 32nd floor, about 700 meters away. He was shooting into a crowd of about 22,000 people at a concert, a country music festival that was going on. We know he had multiple weapons. It hasn't been identified exactly what he was using yet. I've heard rumors that they possibly had a belt-fed weapon there. Also had the rumor that he was using assault rifles with bump stocks on them to increase the rate of fire, simulate an automatic fire. But no one's came out yet exactly what he had. I watched a lot of videos. I'm not going to speculate on what it was, but we had a shooter essentially in an elevated position inside the hotel room who was using what they call plunging fire into a group, essentially, shooting ducks in a barrel kind of deal. So
how many people were there?
22,000 is what they estimated, about 22,000. So we know we had 58 dead so far up to the last I looked at. That could have changed by the minute. I know there's a lot that are critically injured. Around 500 that were wounded or injured in some way. They're calling it the deadliest shooting in American history so far.
What do you do in that situation? I mean, I've trained martial arts, hung out with guys like you for a long time, but I remember the first time I saw that on the news just thinking, what do you do?
What do you do? Well, we want to talk about, especially with shootings, that's where Run, Hide, Fight came from, was to deal with this. That was a moniker, and I don't know who got credit for coming up with that, but I still use it to teach in seminars, and why it's not perfect. It does work, but why it's not a perfect little moniker for it. So first you talk about running when this happens. And that's what most people did, was they ran. Now here's the dirty secret that nobody wants to tell you. The majority of those 500 people that were injured by running.
Trampling each other.
Most of those are getting trampled, they're getting injuries, falling down, running into barriers, running into barricades.
They were just scared.
Yeah, just panicking. Yeah. So right off the bat, you got to stay calm, you got to make a decision on what you want to do. As hard as it sounds crazy that it's possible to stay calm in that situation, but the reality is you're in the situation, and the only thing that's going to get you out of that is making good, sound decisions. Panicking does nothing. Now you're just in a situation, and you have this problem that you have to deal with, and you're panicked. So it makes it even harder. So you got to stay calm, and we evaluate running. So when we make the choice to run, running's always going to be your first choice in pretty much every scenario. What I'm trying to do is get myself out, and for military terms, I'm going to try to get off the X. The X is the place where the ambush happened. So it's right at the point of attack. So the X is right there, dead center in that concert where the first rounds hit, the first burst landed. I need to get off the X. The difference between what most people did and what you should do is that they panicked and they ran because they're completely untrained. So you're there at this concert, you're with a few of your friends. You need to stay calm, you need to grab your friend, you need to stay together, and you need to get off the X at a good pace. But we're not sprinting, we're not panicking, we're not running for our lives, because you can't escape that area fast enough without getting trampled or ran over. So I'm going to try to run to a position of cover or concealment. I'm going to try to get off the X. So we go past running, we move to hide. So when the run, hide, fight.
This is an important one here. What to get behind?
That's where we're going to talk about cover versus concealment. Big one in the military. Big thing that you got to learn when you go overseas. So this banner right here, that you guys see, that's cover. I can hide behind that, or excuse me, that's concealment, right? That conceals me from the shooter. Anything can conceal me. I'm sure that there was all types of banners that were advertising this concert all over the place. There's probably chain link fences with the banners on them that you see a lot, or just your covering to prevent other people from looking at the concert. Pretty common at a concert. That provides concealment for me. So if I choose to hide behind that, the shooter can't see me. right?
Right.
But bullets go right through that.
Right through it.
They don't give you any cover. So cover is a object that can stop a bullet. A car's cover, a concrete barrier's better cover, a wall's cover. It also provides a concealment as well. So I need to move. I need to run to position of cover. I need to find something that can stop a bullet and get behind it. And at this point, we don't know where the shooter is. So
Correct.
I want to try to find something. I want to. The bullets sound like they're coming for here. Everybody is running to the north. I'm going to go to the east or the west in a different angle, not follow the crowd, and find somewhere that I can get into cover and I can make a better decision once I evaluate the situation. So I run, I start getting my people together, I get off the X, I find cover and concealment. Something good, I get everybody together, I get them calmed down again. We're going to try to stay calm repeatedly. As soon as I notice that people are getting worked up, because they're going to be worked up, somebody's firing hundreds of rounds to a crowd, people are getting shot all around us, people are going to be excited. So I need to look over and tell Mike, hey man, you need to calm down. Okay, take a deep breath.
Probably.
I'm going to get you out of here. We are going to get out of here together. Everyone's okay. None of us are wounded. We have everyone. Take a deep breath and let's figure out what's going on. I can pop up from my cover and I can look around, evaluate the situation, try to find out where the shooter is, what the situation, what is going on, what's changed since I decided to run, and move on from there. Then we move on to fight, to our third one. Okay.
Fight.
In most situations, I'm going to tell you, if you come to any of my seminars, you'll hear me say that at some point we're going to have to fight. That's why we train to do that. And at this point, in the little scenario we're building here in this shooting, no one's going to know what's going on. It took somewhere between 12 and 18 minutes from what people are saying from Vegas before they kind of figured out where the guy was and what was actually happening.
There's no apparent boogeyman in front of you to fight.
Yeah, I can't fight him, right? He's not standing in front of me like most shootings. He's not standing out in the crowd and fighting. So fighting's not really an option at this point, right? Fighting back and eliminating the threat is not. It's not an option. Even if I notice, I realize I see muzzle flashes from the building. He's in the building. Okay, I don't have a weapon system available to me there. Even if I was carrying at the time, I'm gonna have a pistol on me that can effectively fight back. So trying to take the shooter out with a 9mm from 700 meters out is going to get you killed. That's
It's not going to do you any good at all.
That's worthless. You're not going to be able to hit him. So unless you were on scene with a sniper rifle or some type of scope equipped weapon,
And you're not.
Reality
You
is
got
you're
a
not gonna
cigarette
do it.
lighter. You're at a country concert.
yeah,
you
you're not going to be able to engage that guy and
No.
take him out. So we scope around, we look for our available chance to fight, and we can. But I'm now in a good position to cover and concealment. I've evacuated myself got off the X and I got away from the main threat. I can fight something though, what we say in the medical world, I can fight death. So I can help others around me. There's going to be lots of people that are wounded laying around there. There's lots of people that are injured, and I can fight that. So I can, and if somebody in my party is wounded, now that I'm off the X, I'm in cover, and I can start to give medical care. So I can fight back that, because in the end, I want to take the threat out. That's the point of fighting, yes.
Yeah.
But this shooter, he wants to kill people, so I can still fight him. I can fight death, and I can help save people's lives, and I can help take away what he was trying to do. So he may got the drop on us. He may have us in a vulnerable situation, but I'm not going to stop right now. I'm going to fight death, and I'm going to make sure these people stay alive. So run, hide, fight.
Yeah, because you can't call for help. I mean, it's
Yeah. So when we talk about
everybody's done called for help. Right?
yeah, when you move on to what type of training should you really do for this? You know, if you want to be able to put
Yeah. How do you train for Las Vegas?
How do you train for Vegas? So right off the bat, what I want to let everybody know is that hundreds, probably thousands of people called 911. All right. So there was a guy. There's a story out there. I don't know the facts are true or not on this, but there was a guy at the bottom of Mandalay Bay that saw the muzzle flashes. There was glass and all types of stuff falling out of the hotel, and he called to let them know where the shooter was at.
Correct.
And he
Right.
couldn't get through. Because the reality is that when there's gunshots going off in the middle of the Vegas Strip, you're going to have thousands of people calling 911.
Everybody's calling 911.
And there's only going to be, even in a huge EMS system, there's only going to be, or emergency medical, or not just EMS, police fire EMS system. In that huge dispatch system, there's only going to be a dozen or so people answering the phone, tops.
Yeah, and they're going to get 1,000 different stories.
So you're getting all this information. So the dispatcher's trying to piece together the information from, say, 100 phone calls of where this guy is, what's going on, people calling for help that are wounded, people calling because there's shots fired. It's going to be a madhouse in there. You're trying to get all these responders on the way. So calling 911 at this point in the situation is basically worthless because you're not going to be able to get through anyway. And if you do get through, you're going to be passing on the same information that hundreds of other people did, and it's just going to add more pieces to the puzzle.
Right.
So
what's a better use of your time at this moment?
well, the point of talking about that, of how the system is going to be overwhelmed, is that you have to realize that you have to take care of yourself.
There you go.
You're going to have to train for this if you want to survive that situation, and without just getting lucky. If you want to be prepared for that situation, you're going to have to elect to do some training.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the only person responsible for you is you.
is you. So it took somewhere between 12 and 18 minutes for the cops to get to that guy's door, and then he apparently took his own life.
12 to 18
12 to 18
minutes of
minutes.
being pinned down somewhere. While a
First of
madman
all, what I
shooting
want
at
to
you.
say is that's a great job by those guys, by those police officers in modern day, getting on scene, getting that dispatched information, getting to that hotel. The security guard got there, let them know what was going on, and they got up 32 flights of stairs, some elevator, and get up there and got in position to take that guy out. That's an excellent job. That being said, he still was able to kill 58 people before that happened.
Yeah, because in my mind, I'm thinking of fights I've been in and how long 3 minutes can feel. 3 minutes
Yeah.
can feel in a fight, not being shot at. And I'm thinking, that's still a long time.
It's a long time. So you're going to have to take care of yourself for that amount of time. You're not going to be able to get through 911 because it's overwhelmed. Okay, so anybody knows anything about bleeding, okay, let's say that I'm out there, it's me and Mike out there, and Mike took a round in the thigh in the initial burst. I got him off the X, I hit him behind a concrete pillar or a concrete barrier, and now I'm evaluating what's going on. Mike needs medical help. Okay, can Mike wait? The ambulances are not going to go into the scene until it's secure and there's no
Right.
one shooting,
Right.
right? Because they're just going to get shot themselves. Okay, so let's call it 18 minutes until the first ambulance is on scene. I bet it was longer than that, but let's say that is the case.
Okay.
Mike can't survive 18 minutes with a gunshot wound with heavy bleeding going on. It's not possible unless I render medical care. So in this situation, outside of staying calm and thinking yourself to the situation, using our run, hide, fight moniker, next is medical training. So now I can help fight death. So I start helping Mike out. So I use my medical training. Everybody should have basic bleeding control. There's multiple courses out there. Multiple courses I teach, lots of other people teach. They're out there,
They're
right,
out
for
there.
basic bleeding control, and you should be able to do that as a responsible, especially if you're a parent, responsible adult. You should know how to take care of bleeding. If you don't, you're setting yourself up for failure in so many situations, way outside of just a mass shooting. But in this situation, that's one of the few things you can fight back with is medical care.
Do you just call like the local fire department if you want to find a class?
Oh, easy to find a class. Easiest way is to call me, right? Because I give them.
Yeah, and there you go.
Easy ways to call me,
There
but
go.
you can contact any. Just get online and search bleeding control. Search basic first
It's
aid.
not a hard thing to find in.
Dozens, hundreds of organizations, even online, that teach that stuff.
There you
But
go.
Call me though.
Call Rick.
So, outside of that, outside of the medical training, so what's the naysayer gonna say? Well, they're not gonna have a pack available. Okay, that's why it's important to go to a really good class. Right, you go to a basic class on bleeding control, and they may not pass some of this information on. But I have everything on my body right now. I'm not carrying any medical gear whatsoever. I have a pack in my car that's a very short distance away if I needed it. But given the life-threatening bleed right now, everything that's on my body, in my clothing, can be used to take care of that. I have all of it here. It's just about getting the knowledge to do it. So get out there and get some training on that. Be able to improvise and work yourself through the situation. Self-evacuation after that. Okay,
You
so
get yourself out of there, huh?
you have 22,000 people that just panicked and ran down the strip. You're going to have dozens and dozens of ambulances that are about to be on scene pretty quick trying to evac people. You still have a shooter out there. You have police that are all over the area trying to take care of the shooter, trying to search for more shooters.
Because you don't know what's going on. Even if bullet shots haven't rang out for a little while, you don't know.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of that, right?
You don't know a lot. Here's what I do know. I know somebody was shooting. I know I'm hidden now, and I know Mike is wounded. Right? So I can't get through 911, so what I have to assume is that the ambulances aren't coming.
Correct.
Okay, so now I got to make a choice to self-evacuate, and a lot of people did. There's a couple stories. There's one story of a Marine veteran that stole another guy's car and evacuated a bunch of people in the bed that were wounded. Those people got to the hospital, and most of those people lived. Waiting in that situation may or may not be the best thing to do. I may be able to wait on the ambulance. A lot of it's situation dependent.
Yeah.
This is just a concept out there. It's not necessarily a tactic. The concept of self-evacuation being, I need to evaluate how bad Mike is. What's my ability to self-evacuate him? I may be able to. It may be a better option. I look at Mike, and Mike's lost a lot of blood. He's not looking good. I don't hear any sirens. I can't get to a 911. I'm going to choose to self-evacuate Mike and try to get him out of there and get to a vehicle and get him to the hospital myself. Simply because the size and scenario of the situation, the 911 system is overwhelmed.
What if I'm okay? What if we can wait it out? What determines whether we should just stay or versus we need to get the fuck out of here?
When you're talking about medical care, that's going to be an experience factor, and most people aren't going to have that. But if I have relatively minor wounds, I'm not bleeding to death, everything's fine, I can just wait this out. I'm in a position to cover, I'm hiding, I'm looking around. If I see, okay, everything's calmed down now, I'm bailing out of here and I'm going home, or I'm going to run down to the hospital. You also have to realize that hospital is going to be completely overwhelmed with people, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not seriously wounded, you may choose another option. But if I can't self-evacuate, I want to get out of there. I want to get away from the entire situation. You saw people walking down the street and get out of there. And that situation can change if there's another shooter. It can change everything that's going on. But it's never going to be a bad idea in that scenario where 911's overwhelmed and I'm not hearing any sirens showing up. It's going to be a while. I'm getting out of here.
Okay.
So, all that being said, man, it's a lot of information. But talking about what to do and what to train on, I think the biggest point that I want to make is that we need to start adjusting to this new reality. Okay, so
Yeah.
if you guys know about me at all, you've heard my story and my scenario where I was attacked with a pistol just in Tulsa, right? As I was working on an ambulance. Okay, I'm gonna share a story after that. So after that happened, I talked to, we'll just say a high-ranking person at a certain organization. I talked to him about getting training for other people, so if this happened again, other people would be prepared as well. What he told me was, is this an isolated incident and this never happens, right? Which I know is not true, and anybody at that organization knows is not true as well. But the thing was that person had told themselves in their mind that this is isolated, I don't need to worry about this. And as he said to me, that's never going to happen. That's a quote. It's never going to happen. That's really, in my mind, is ridiculous.
Cop out is what we call that.
It just happened.
It just happened.
And now you're telling me it's never going to happen.
Because
Right.
it's all imaginary.
Okay? So here's the reality about mass shootings. Okay, and I use that story because we have to, as an individual, despite the fact he told me that, I chose to seek more training for myself and then to start the 13th Man and spread this training to as many people as I could.
Because it's important.
Because it's important and it could save somebody's life. Okay, I can't expect him to change until I changed. So what I did is I took the steps myself, and I'm going to start spreading the word on my own. And one day that guy will be in one of my classes.
Yep.
That's a goal of mine. He will come to one of my classes and he'll learn. He'll see the statistics. He'll see the information out there, and he'll realize that there's no negative to getting this training. Okay, but we can't expect the government to step in and fix all these problems. We can't expect anyone to step in fixing these mass shooting problems. This is a new reality. So a couple of statistics out there. I'm going to look down so I can make sure that I'm correct here. A couple of statistics. So 2009 to 2011, there's 110 mass shootings. And this stuff may not be exact. It may not be perfect. I'm not trying to spread bad information. Best statistics that I could find. So 2009, 2011, we had 110 mass shootings. These statistics are based on at least 4 people being shot, injured in some way, or killed during the shooting. Right? 110 in 4 years. Okay. 2015, that number jumped to 355. Obviously, there's an increase in mass shootings going on.
Dang.
In a 1-year time period, we tripled the number in 4 years. Okay, I can sit here and list them. We see about them on the news, and every time one of these things happens, what do we say? I can't believe this just happened.
We need to start believing it's happening.
This is a new reality.
It's a new reality.
This is the reality of what's going on. You really have 2 choices. You can choose to be trained, or you can choose to be untrained. Me, I hope that all the training I do and all the training that I give, it prepares people that choose to take that training, and when this situation happens, they'll be able to deal with it. So that's really what you got to look at.
Yep.
This is a new reality. This is the way it is. If anybody can contact me and tell me the last time the federal government stepped in and solved one of your problems for you personally, I'd love to hear your story.
Yeah, me too.
If you can do it, contact me and I'll make a new video and I'll correct myself. Okay? Problems are solved on a small level. They're solved on a personal level. Just like 911 couldn't really help those people that day, there's only so much the system can do for you. You have to choose to protect yourself on your own.
Yeah, learning to protect yourself is a lot better than shutting yourself in and not going anywhere.
Yeah. All right, guys. So that's the talk. That's what I talked about in Vegas today. Obviously, pray for all those people out there. Pray for them to be able to get out of the hospital. Those guys that are still recovering. But after you're done praying, after you're done with that, let's get up and let's train for Vegas and let's make sure if any of that stuff happens that we're ready for it. Anything else?
If you ain't training, you ain't gaining.
That's it. That's the talk for the day. Rick Bigger.
Mike McGonigal.
That's the 13th man. We'll talk to you later.